Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Cody. I am a writer, and oh my gosh, it has been so long. I'm pretty sure that the last video that I posted on my channel was my 2 years on AuthorTube, and that was back in February. So we have some life updates, we have some book updates, we have lots of updates. Make sure you grab yourself a little snack, a little drink, but most importantly, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe because I got a lot to say. So first things first is where I've been. If you follow me over on Instagram at Cody the Writer, or if you're one of my frequent flyers in my Saturday morning live streams, then you would know I've been working on Legally Blonde the musical here in Memphis, and it has been so much fun. We rehearsed for 2 months, so that was April and May, and then we performed every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in June. And so happy Pride Month. What a great way to celebrate than with the gayest musical theater show to ever exist, probably. And that's also not based on any factual evidence. So if you can think of a gayer musical theater show, drop it down below. So obviously with me working my normal full-time job and then putting 20 to 25 hours a week into Legally Blonde, I have had little to zero time to sit down and record vlogs and edit videos and make content, which has been kind of a bummer. And while I'll say the break away from staring at the screen was nice, I have missed you guys, and I've missed posting these updates and these vlogs and these videos and interacting with all of you. So here we are. We are back. We're so back because Legally Blonde is over. It's July the 3rd as of the day that I'm recording this clip. And if you're wondering where I am, we're actually here at my parents' house for the long weekend. We drove up yesterday, literally woke up 8 a.m., booked it over here, drove our happy little 7 hours. We got here at like 3 o'clock. So we pretty much had the whole evening left to just hang out with the family, catch up. We did a little night swim over in the pool. And it was just a lovely time. And so here we are today. Today's our first full day here, just hanging out. I know we're going to dinner tonight. We're gonna be doing more swimming later today. This trip has come at a really good time because this week has been full of some really high highs and some really low lows. So I'm gonna start with the really high highs first before we get to the really low low. But a couple of highs have been the fact that I got to share the cover of my second novel, The Same House, with the internet over on Instagram. I did a whole like countdown to the storm, like a few days leading up to the release, and it was really fun. And everyone on there was commenting such nice things and talking about how much they love the cover and how like they can't wait to read it. And it's just been really getting me excited for the potential for this next book. But not only did I get to share with the world that the book is pre-orderable. By the way, you can pre-order it now. The ebook's on Amazon and the paperback is literally everywhere. So like, hello, what are you doing? And keeping in that same vein of, being able to pre-order the book, another really great thing that happened this week, I finally got confirmation from our local indie bookstore. It's called Novel Memphis. And I'm actually gonna be doing my very first ever just solo event at Novel Memphis. And it's gonna be like an early release of the book. It's gonna be on September 26th because the book comes out on the 29th of September. But on the September 26th, I'll be able to do like a little early release launch party on that Saturday. And I'll get to meet some readers. I'll get to sign their books, like do personalized signatures. And pretty much anyone that orders their book through this bookstore can request a personalized signature from me. So if you are in the Memphis area and you would like a signed personalized edition of this book, pre-order from Novel Memphis. The link is in my bio, so go check it out. I want to go ahead and move into our sad news for this video. Now, if you don't like sad news, I'll put a timestamp here on the video, especially if you don't like sad news that involves animals. So just protect yourself. If you need to go to this timestamp, feel free to do so. All right. Here we go. Like I said, it's Friday as of the day that I'm recording this, but on Monday, our family suffered a pretty tragic loss. We lost our beautiful, beautiful cat Duchess to it was very sudden. It was, apparently something that was genetic, and it was just one of those underlying things that, cats are smart. They don't tell you when anything's wrong. She wasn't acting like anything was wrong. She was playing, she was having the best time. Literally just days before, out of nowhere, she just wasn't okay. And it declined very quickly. Clark and I, you know, in the midst of all of our tears, have been thinking of all the silver linings. We're grateful that we were able to be at home when it happened, and we were able to, you know, have that final goodbye with her, finding things that we're grateful for. And we're grateful for the time that we got to spend with her and that she chose us to be her forever parents. We'll meet her at the Rainbow Bridge one day, whenever it's our time. We'll all meet and we'll all have a big old cuddle puddle just like we used to. And it'll be a great time. Enough sad news for this video. I just felt like I told myself I was gonna get through this clip without crying because Duchess was such a huge part of just live streams. And those of you who have attended my live streams the last few months, you have seen Duchess probably in about every single live stream, because she was always in that room with me. She was always either at my feet, she was at the boxes under me, she was in my lap, she was crawling all up back and forth on the desk. You saw her, you were there. And so I didn't want her absence to go unnoticed, though I doubt it will ever go unnoticed. Enough of the sad news for today, okay? So I think we need to lift some things back up here. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over to a past version of myself so you can see me actually open this book for the very first time. Past Cody, take it away. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Hello, is this thing on? Hi friends. Okay, so welcome to my living room. I am so excited because today I received a very, very exciting package. Wait a minute, let me not dox myself on the internet. I got a package today and you probably already know what it is. If you follow me on Instagram, squeaking noises, Honey's playing toy right now. But like I was saying, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I have some things in the works by now. By seeing this video, you already know that the cover has been revealed for my second novel, The Same House. And today is the day where I get to finally open up the first proof copy and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so here we go. Hey, that's the back. And I can already tell the parts. And I gotta see. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, yeah. That looks so good. Ah, and it's printed on both sides. A minute, I gotta see all of them now. Sided part headers, that's so cool. Formatted that myself. My second book. Look at this really cute pillow my mom has. I love this room. Hi, it is the next day and it is our last full day here. It is actual 4th of July. So happy 4th of July to all of my American people watching this, even though by the time you're watching this, we're past the holiday, but whatever. I hope you ate a hot dog for me because I will be eating at least 2 because something about the 4th of July makes me want a hot dog real bad. For today's clip, I kind of wanted to talk about how my content is going to be changing in the future. My channel will still mostly be writing content and writing related things. I got to a point with my content, it started last year, but it really just came to a head this year, to where I felt like I had run out of things to say about writing. I mean, there are people all the time that you see, especially writing advice channels, basically like reworking the same tips and tricks and advice over and over and over again, just so that they have content to put out. And I'm just not that kind of person. I'm not going to just put together some slop from stuff that I already did and make it into something new for you to consume, because that just feels like a waste of your time and a waste of my time, and I'm not trying to waste anyone's time, you know what I'm saying? And so I got to a point where I was just like, I feel like I just don't have anything else to say. I've shared my experience with self-publishing, and I've, answered any questions that have come along with that. I've talked about my writing process ad nauseum. I mean, if you come to my live streams, it feels like it changes every other day. I had gotten to a point where I was like, what am I even doing here? Like, I feel like I had done what I came to do, and I didn't really see any other avenue back into vlogging, because I don't know, there's a part of me that was just like, people came to your channel for the writing. And I know this isn't true, but there's a part of me that was like, they don't necessarily care about the other parts of me because they came for the writing part of me. You know what I'm saying? But as I've been doing live streams, I did one a few weeks ago, and I was just randomly like, hey, because I mean, I've gotten to the point now where I pretty much have like my crew. We call it our writing club, even though it's unofficial, but it is our writing club if you want to come join. every Saturday, 10 a.m. We'd love to have you. But I was in there the other day and I just randomly asked everyone that was in the chat, I said, so why do you come to these live streams? You know, why do you keep showing up every week? Because I was just curious. I was like, what is it about this experience that you like, you know? And literally everyone's response had zero to do with writing. It had to do with your energy, your personality. One person said, we just never know what you're gonna say. And that's the truth. Good girl. I've had a honey join me now. It was a wake-up call to me that people are here watching my content, engaging with my content because they see something in me that they like, which is really nice. So that is kind of where I'm gonna be going with my content. My content, yes, it will still probably 90% be around books in general, but I want to include some reading vlogs. I wanna include some fun TBR things because not only am I a writer, obviously I'm a reader. And tagging off on that topic, I have started my NetGalley journey. I have created my account. I have my first arc that I'm currently reading. We're going to get into the books that I'm reading a little bit later. Here soon with, you know, my future books, I want to start leaning into the idea of querying. And, you know, obviously whenever you're querying, you want to, and correct me if I'm wrong, TradPub people, but you want to pick something that's within like the last 5 years, like something that's been published recently that you can sort of comp and be like, hey, this is currently doing really well in the market. I think my book would also do well in that same market. I was like, I need something that I can, you know, kind of keep up with the new trends, like what's new in different genres that I'm writing in, but is also cost effective. Because literally the only payment that I have to give any of these authors that send me a book is a review. And I can do that 100%. Be a learning experience for future Cody who is wanting to pursue traditional publishing. So wish me luck on that front, okay? Because there will be vlogs about me, you know, learning how to do query letters and that blasted website that Alyssa hates, Query Tracker. I'm excited. It's gonna be a fun journey. It'll all be new. And if you're new to the TradPub world, then we'll be exploring it together. But if you are an experienced TradPub person, any comments of help or assistance or encouragement is always welcome. So thank you. But the last thing that I want to do in this clip is I want to kind of talk about what I've been reading recently. So literally on the way here, me and Clark listened to the entire audiobook of Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. Okay, if you don't want spoilers for Dear Debbie, you have until this timestamp to go to, okay? Because I'm about to say what I gotta say. Are you gone? Okay. So first things first was obviously, Debbie is the villain. Like from the jump, I was like, okay, something's off with Debbie. And then the off just kept getting more and more off. And so I was like, okay, well, there wasn't really a surprise here. And then at the end, the big twist was just like names being swapped around. There's Debbie, Debbie's husband, Cooper, and Jesse, right? So Jesse is cheating on his wife over here with some girl over here and Jesse is saying that his name is Cooper, Debbie's husband. So for the whole book, we think that Cooper, the real Cooper, is cheating on Debbie when really he was never cheating at all. He's just an alcoholic and he's been hiding that literally for their entire marriage. How does that never come up, first of all, in a marriage? That's the fact that he never told her and they had been married for 20 years, but Cooper was never cheating on Debbie. He was just hiding the fact that he was an alcoholic. Jesse was just cheating on his wife and saying that his name was Cooper. But it turns out Jesse was also some guy from Debbie's past who she was completely setting up for this entire, you know, thing that she had going on. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens because I'll leave something to the imagination. But the final showdown involved Jesse because of something that he did to Debbie back in the day. And yeah, I don't know. It was good at keeping me interested, but after it was over, I was like, meh. But we read that all the way here, and then I obviously have some books here with me. I brought this book. It's my Crystal Magic book because I'm doing some research for Project Purple because we are going to be getting back into some Project Purple. More on that in a later clip. But I've been doing some research on crystal magic and things that I can sort of incorporate into my magic system and my world as I am going to be, you know, revising book 1. And I've already started planning out book 2. I've already got a slight outline going. And so, yeah, hopefully by the end of this year, we'll have something going with that. But this is my research book that I brought with me just for some light nonfiction research. And then I am getting back into this diva, Miss Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm so excited to get back into this series because obviously it's been getting lots of hype, and it has, you know, its TV show has been announced that it's going to be done by Seth MacFarlane. It's going to be super funny, I'm sure. And so I just want to get back into reading this. I literally got 9 chapters in. I mean, you can see my bookmark, maybe. Can you see it? Almost the first 100 pages, but then I just stopped because I just got busy with writing and Legally Blonde and all the other things that I just kind of stopped reading. And so this is the last book that I was reading whenever I stopped. So I want to get back into this, and my goal is to have this first book read by the end of the month. So we'll see how we do. Hello, and welcome to the final day of our trip. We are actually leaving today in T-minus, like, I don't know, 3 hours. So I thought I would close out this vlog by talking about the projects that I plan on working on pretty much for the rest of 2026. I'm pretty excited about all of them, and I do fear that once I start one, that it's just gonna become my whole personality. I'm just gonna get sort of sucked into the void of creativity, and I'm not gonna be able to find my way out. But that kind of sounds fun. You know what I mean? As most of you know, if you were here before I kind of took my little couple month hiatus, you would know that I was working on something called Project Purple, which is my epic fantasy with crystal magic and found family and all these fun little quests and side quests and characters and places. It's just everything that I love about a good magical fantasy story. I basically put it into Project Purple, and I'm so excited because I started reading draft 1 of book 1 the other day, and girl, why did it kind of eat? We were separated for 6 whole months before I finally picked up that binder and read the story. And I gotta say, with all that separation, I was like, wait a minute. I mean, there are obviously things that I'd be like, oh, we could change this, we could delete that, we could whatever. But for the most part, like for the story, I'm like, okay, we kind of snapped with this, I fear. So with that said, the first thing that is kind of on my list is I would love to comb all the way through that first draft. I would like to take as many notes as I can and sort of start building my world Bible with what I have there and almost kind of create my own like wiki page. I know some people have used Obsidian. I've used it in the past, but for some reason I was like using it for a certain amount of time, and then the file that I created just like up and disappeared and like deleted from my computer. And I don't know how that happened or why that happened, and I have still not found that file to this day. I've now been able to do, you know, 2 separate standalones, which has been really great for helping me learn story structure and character arcs and, you know, suspense and pacing and all these things that are very important when telling a story. I was able to learn all of those things in small chunks, and so now this will be my first time applying all of those same rules, structure to multiple books, which it'll be, who's to say, will I flop? I might flop. I'm curious to see if book 2 is anything like book 1 was, because with book 1, I wrote the entire outline and it, you know, it got more and more detailed every time that I did it. But once it actually came time to write the story, like I hit start and I never really looked at my outline again. And I'm curious to see if that same experience applies with book 2, because they're with, you know, a new book in the series, there will be new characters introduced, there will be new places introduced. And so that is part of why I want to have these notes with book 1 done, so that I can have that solid foundation of world building that I've already sort of applied to the world before I start adding more world building on top of it. Because if that foundation isn't strong, we're just gonna keep stacking stuff on top and the whole thing's gonna fall apart and it's not gonna be a good time. I might have a crash out on YouTube, okay? So with all that said, Q4 is going to hopefully be, if I have done all the planning that I say I'm gonna do in Q3, then Q4 should be all drafting a new book, all book 2 of the Project Purple series. And not only will I be writing book 2 in Q4 this year, but I'm also gonna be hosting the second annual 90-day novel. But stay tuned, I'll probably post all about the 90-day novel in like September-ish, and because I usually want to give people the time, the month to maybe outline a new project if that's what they're trying to do, before we all hit the ground running on October 1st. And hopefully by the end of the year, we will all have reached some sort of milestone in our writing projects. And it's so much fun. And it's just so great to celebrate with everyone. And also with the new year, it ends at the new year, and really just reflect on all the work we did in the past year. And so it just feels like the perfect time. And I love, like, fall for me is writing season. Like, that is when I want to be in a new story, when I want to be in a new world. I really want to do all of the most creative parts of the writing process. Like, for me, I don't think I will ever revise a book in fall. For me, in the fall time, I'm trying to be my most creative self, because that is when my creative muse is just the strongest, I feel. What better time than to do 90 Day Novel, year 2? We're gonna be going from Release of the Same House on September 29th. And then October 1st, we're gonna be in book 2 of a fantasy series. Like, talk about whiplash, but it's gonna be so much fun. And I can't wait to share it with all of you, and I can't wait to write with all of you, because honestly, listen, I was thinking about this the other day. The 2 books that I've written, I wrote them both here on YouTube. Ghostwriters Club was like maybe 10,000 words into draft 1. If you follow along in that series, you'll know that I had to completely rewrite draft 1. So basically, it was just more like a really detailed third-person outline. So it's just really cool to think about that. Everything that I have done, all 3 of the books that I have written in some capacity, 3 of these books I wrote with all of you. And I just think that's really cool. And every book that I ever write, I hope to write with all of you. So with that said, that is going to be the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for being here and for coming on this trip to my parents' very cute little house. And if you're free on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, you should come and write with us over on Live, because we have a great time. With that said, I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.